If you're listening to this, then I'm dead. My ignorance and fear brought this upon me, and now I fear upon mankind as well. Am I the only victim in this city of 3 million people who knows what's happening? I wonder if the people of this city will stay put, becoming the prison that this darkness dwells. Here's my story. For as long as I can remember, which is since my childhood, no one had ever left the small town until I did. Life in the small town was a combination of fun, studies, and daydreaming, and I would look at the map of my town in geography class and then silently wonder what was beyond the forest that surrounded us. Surely there must be a world out there, I would say to myself. I never told anyone of this desire to see the outside world, probably because no one else ever spoke about it, and the only time I told my mother, she froze, her hands gripping the spoon mid-stir, her eyes filled with tears as she begged me to never think about it again. Why? I asked. Her eyes become dead cold and her voice slightly above a harsh whisper. Don't you ever ask that question again, and don't bring this up with anyone else. That was the end of our discussion. Her words only added fuel to the curiosity that was already burning in my mind. Many questions, yet there was no one to ask. Why does the small town become suddenly quiet toward midnight? Why are all the windows and doors shut by that time? Why is everyone told not to go near the window or open the door? What could be outside? What was out there beyond the forests? Why is no one going into the forests? Maybe I should have killed my curiosity. Maybe if I had, I wouldn't be recording this. Just outside my window, I can see the black clouds with 6 glowing red eyes approaching. But I must record this. I must. If I don't, my soul may not ever rest in peace. Let me continue, because you need to understand what's coming for this city to survive. A month after that conversation with my mother, I started staying up past the moment the small town fell silent. The silence barely lasted 5 minutes. As soon as the clock struck 12, it was like the town exhaled after holding its breath. Maybe we did hold our breath. Each night, I only felt safe again after I heard the clock. During the silent minutes, I would listen for any sound, maybe a scratch on the wall, a cat kicking down a tin, or even the rustling of leaves in the forest. I would listen for 5 minutes, and every time, it was the same thing. Silence. 7 nights ago, for the first time ever, I heard the sound of a tin being kicked. It was loud. My heart jumped in excitement. I ran to the window. I hesitated. My fingers barely brushed the blind, but I couldn't stop myself. Slowly, I pulled back, and that was when I saw him, or her, whatever. I just know that this was the scariest thing I'd ever seen in my life, and no, I've never known fear. It stood motionless, yet its body boiled all over. It was like this darkness without form, yet it breathed like it had life. As I stayed, paralyzed by fear, looking out the window, the darkness turned around, slowly taking a new form. I heard myself scream loudly in my head, and I saw myself run back to the bed and cover my head with the blanket. I saw myself not going to the window after I heard that sound. I saw myself wishing I could turn back the hands of time. In the snap of a finger, the blackness was right in front of me. I could smell it. It smelled like burning sulfur. It had a pull, a strong one that gave me the feeling of my soul leaving my body, and I thought I was gonna die. As I stared into the blackness, one glowing red eye, then another, then 4 more, blinking into existence. I wasn't looking at it. It was looking at me. And just as the blackness lifted what looked like a hand, the clock struck 12. And everything was still. I was alone again, but the fear never left. For the next 3 days, I walked around my town with the feeling that I was being watched. Every shadow called out to me. I felt the weight of unseen eyes pressing against me. Lights flickered where there were no shadows. I caught movement in places that should have been still. Nightfall was a nightmare, and the smell of burning sulfur made my room its permanent abode. Even my mother started keeping her distance. It was as if she knew. She was always out of the house before I came out of my room every day. Maybe she doesn't sleep in the house anymore. Maybe after all the noises of dishes I hear in the night, she silently opens the door to the house and leaves. On the fourth day, I woke up to a note in front of my room. Don't think of going into the forest, please. Mom, that was all the conviction I needed. Perhaps the darkness only dwelled within the forest. Outside, it should be safe. Outside, a very big mistake on my part. I should have listened. I should have stayed. I thought I had escaped. But all I did was bring the nightmare with me. It was my first night in the city, and I watched from my window. In my burning, sulfur-smelling room, 5 people of different ages get consumed by the blackness. This happened at 11:55 p.m., and by 12 a.m., things were back to normal. Or were they? As I walked out of the room that morning, the hallway reeked of death. I was the only person who walked out of the block alive. I moved away immediately and got a motel far away. I woke up to a dead motel. Police sirens, questioning. Eventually, I was left alone. If you're listening to this, then I'm dead. This email was self-scheduled to deliver, and I didn't make a new entry after 24 hours. And yes, I can see the blackness really close to my window. I can feel its eyes burning into my soul. And yes, it's here. Staring, watching, waiting.